everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's on the Tuber. Welcome back. If this is your second High School Musical, the series, season 3 episode review. It's still a little getting used to it. It's been so long. Like every time we end the High School Musical season, it feels like over a year since the last one. So me saying that we're here, we're back in the moment, we're back in this fictional world of East High it's hilarious to say the least. It really is. With this week, it becomes even more. I get it. I understand this is a very fun season to play jokes of, not just the world they live in, but also the joke that they technically are in a TV show. Now they're going to be doing a TV show within the TV show with one of the main actors from High School Musical, which is like coincidental as all hell and super meta. But you know what? I'm in it for the ride. This episode felt like a little bit of a downgrade from last week. A little bit. It wasn't too noticeable, but for me, like as soon as we reached, I think by the end of the first third of the episode, I was like, okay, we're getting to some familiar tropes here. And that's not to say it's a bad thing. I know definitely this season they were trying to like be totally different. We're not at East High anymore. We're at a summer camp, and our cast is very fractured this season. So it's definitely a lot of like new faces mixing in with old faces, and we're kind of recycling some older elements for the new characters, but not all 100%. But so that's why I say it's only a tad bit of a departure. Like it's not 100% a carbon copy, but definitely I felt there was moments of, oh, this felt familiar to something else. Also, this entire last week, I was, as an aside thing, I was listening to some of the season 1, season 2 songs again, and it's still crazy to how so different season 1 and season 2 are compared to where we were in season 3. I do want to say, since we are going to come back with season 4 next year, knocking on wood, speaking, if any more production delays don't happen, is my hopefulness for that is that we will get to do a definitive season 1 review for the first when we first started this all, like full spoilers, no holding back, unlike what we did. And Jesus Christ, now 3 years ago, I feel old. That's the hopeful goal, and I'm just like, I'm 99% convinced that COVID really affected things, and then also Olivia blowing the hell up has definitely changed the show to what originally was supposed to be to now where it is to be. Or maybe it was originally the plan that, like, yeah, Nini's character was meant to kind of get sidelined a little, like, not sidelined, but more like she's not with the main cast. Like we have the ensemble story, and then we have Nini's story, and I feel like that's kind of how things have been since second half season 2, where like Nini's still around, her presence is still felt with the main cast, but the main cast is kind of doing their own thing, and you really feel it. So, with that being said, whether or not that is the case, that yeah, this was all planned for the beginning, I think it works out better because, like, Ricky and Nini were great, but I don't even know why I'm doing this right now, but I'm just saying, like, it's just hot in my head. I got to express it now, is that they were Troy and Gabriella in the moment, but now going into season 3, it's EJ and Gina's turn. They feel like the Troy and Gabriella, where like their story is parallel to where Troy and Gabriella were at the actual point in High School Musical 2, now in season 3 of the show. It makes sense. It definitely works a bit differently, and I kind of like it. But it is a damn shame that, Ricky and Nini aren't together anymore. But it's a factor of, life in high school and moving on, that, like, you never really know who you're going to end up with. Or maybe that's not even supposed to be your primary focus growing up. Figuring out who you are and having an opportunity to advance yourself should be more important. Relationships will come down the road. At least that's what I tell myself every time when I'm single half the year. Anywho, so let's go through the budget recap after that very weird opening monologue of mine and talk about this week's episode of High School Musical, the series. Okay, so we wake up early in the morning. EJ is ready to kind of begin his first day as director. Frozen, the musical, the first official presentation, I guess. He's a little gun shy. He's like, of course, obviously, this is the night after he was just told, yeah, you're going to be director, after thinking that Corbin Blue was going to be director, but he's going to be the director of the direct. He's going to direct the show about the show. If that makes any lick of sense, but whatever. Gina goes into be with him, support him a little bit. Obviously, no one else knows about this besides Gina, since she was just right there when, all the news just happened. And EJ's a bit worried about it, the whole thing, and he's a bit concerned also, that Ricky's back in the picture, because he was considering that, oh, Ricky's gonna be out, Nini's out. This is our summer league. This is the time where we get to be the shot. I remember when they were like, we were like, in the end of season 1, like, oh, we're the understudy. Now we're the main leads. Like, this is our show now. And then Ricky shows up. It's like, it's so funny, and it's also a little bit weird in my opinion. I'll get to more of this when we get to later on in the episode, but Ricky feels a bit standoutish. Like, not in terms of like a bad thing. I mean it more along the line that, he is self-aware that like it kind of is not his show anymore. Like, he's kind of like wandering, where back in season 1, he had a purpose. And it's so funny to say, because like Ricky has a story. He definitely has a story here, but it's like when I was reviewing season 1, I was mentioning that Ricky has a direction. Like, I hated Ricky so much as a character, and then by the end of season 1, like, oh, I actually really do like this guy. And then I was like in season 2, like, EJ has no story. He has no development. We don't really know what the fuck he's gonna do as a character. And now we're in a completely different scenario in season 3, where I'm like, I would not have expected this at all. But regardless of that, Gina's not really paying mind to that. She's more focused on, about if EJ is like truly believing himself that he could direct this project, bring it home. Because not only is this going to be just an average, summer camp play, as well as a test to see if EJ is ready to kind of be a director, but also along the lines of, oh, the other thing is that, this is going to be on Disney Plus, where it's playing in 63 countries around the world. Yeah, literally Disney Plus doing self-advertisement in a Disney Plus show. Only Disney, man. Only these types of shows can get away with this. But he's not worried about it. It's like, as long as they're fine, as long as everything goes well, they should be fine. Meanwhile, I want to say it's bright and early for Ricky. I want to say that's where we pick things up with the next scene, where Ricky and Carlos wake up. It's audition day, and sorry, I'm stuttering a little bit. I'm really flabbergasted here a little bit. So Carlos is asking what the hell happened with Ricky with the whole summer vacation plan and stuff like that, and he's like, he doesn't really want to talk about it, to be honest with you, because it doesn't feel like something he needs to talk about. But like, it's time. It's another musical audition season, and Carlos is like, look, man, I know you've been saffroning it since the first episode, but this ain't gonna happen here. Third time ain't the charm, which I will admit, the first time it made sense. The second time, I don't even know how the fuck he got the male lead. I didn't even enjoy his performance in season 2 in terms of like the audition performance. I did not like it at all, and I just rewatched it recently. So I'm like, that was just pure biasism of Miss Jen's part. This time around, it's different. It's a fellow peer doing it. It's, definitely someone that's gonna think with a critical lens. Like, Ricky is 100% not going to get a lead this time around. Will that actually happen? We'll find out. This episode's ending kind of keeps things a little ambiguous for next week. But and also, once again, Ricky just does not know what the fuck he's doing. Like, Ricky, for the third time in a row, just is stuttering. What are we doing again? Like, okay, High School Musical, I heard of that, but what are these songs? Like, what is the energy I'm supposed to bring to the character? Second season, I've never seen the classics. Right here, still hasn't seen it. This case, Frozen. Another thing you need to know about me, I never seen Frozen 2. Not Frozen 2. I've never seen Frozen 1 and Frozen 2. Never seen those movies. I heard big things about them. Obviously, of course, everyone's seen the Let It Go song. It's kind of like impossible not to hear that song anymore, but... And also, Do You Want to Build a Snowman? Like, those are the two classics for the song. But other than that, I don't know shit about the movie. I don't really know what the hell goes on. I only know the Kingdom Hearts 3 version that I played back in a couple years ago. But anyway, back to the main story here, because I'm really derailing long enough. We catch up on Nini. She's in Cali with her moms, and they're about to start their summer road trip. I think they rented out a little condo, a little house, so that they can start like moving around places, and they're there mainly for a college reunion. Maybe she mentioned that last episode. That skimmed me over, but they're there for a college reunion, and they're making the traditional like, wow, we are not that old to be considered to go back to our reunion. We are not that old. And there's another reason. One of their old college classmates, who Nini knew when she was a kid, is going to be at the reunion, and they decided to tell her the news. Very weirdly, this was not set up at all, but we never knew how, like, we knew, I forgot if Nini was ever mentioned to be adopted or, conceived through artificial insemination back in the earlier seasons. I'm not sure if they mentioned that at all. I could be wrong. But regardless to say, yeah, like, so Nini had a donor, and initially the donor was supposed to be left ambiguous, so Nini doesn't have to ask questions. Now it's a friend of the mom's dad knew Nini when she was growing up, but obviously because of, adulting and, stuff like that, they kind of lost connection. So now she knows, so now she has the option to, like, do you want to explore a potential, connection with your biological father, or do you just want to keep things ambiguous? Again, like, it's up to you, but now you have access to the information. It came out a little weirdly, though. It came out like there would have been a better way to set this up, but then again, like, we're very limited on Olivia's time, so I'm pretty sure they were like, we need to get the shit going. We need to get the shit going. Yeah, so we cut back over to the camp. Gina and Ricky have their first, I guess, proper reunion that isn't just like a half-assed, hey, I'm here type of moment, and they awkwardly hug because I think technically they never really resolved their issues from the rose thing from last season, which I'm like, oh, right, that was a thing. Oh, not the roses, the chocolates. Like, oh, I completely forgot about that storyline. And yeah, they were being really good friends, and then that thing happened, and the confusion happened, and Ricky was in the middle of the Nini thing, and then they were busy with the play, and then there was just so many things going on. Then, like, yeah, they never really got to tackle that. But they were like, you know what? It's summertime. We're in a new environment. Let's just start fresh. Let's just start over. We know each other. We can pick up our connection where we left off, and, we can get rid of all the baggage. So Ricky's like, after some confusion, of course, as per usual with Ricky, he agrees. So they move forward. I'm going to see if there's any other scene before I forget till we go forward. I forgot. Yeah, I know we get a funny scene with, oh, damn, I remember Ashley's name, EJ's cousin finally. Oh, Courtney. Courtney's having some tech withdrawal, which I'm like, okay, yeah, that's traditional. That's kind of common. Yeah, so I think around this time, yeah, EJ tells, oh no, they get to the barn, which is where like majority of the rehearsals and the auditions are going to be happening. So they're there. They're excited to see Corbin Blue again. EJ breaks the news to his friend / fellow CIT that, like, yeah, Corbin's not directing the play. I am, and so we're really up the shit's creek over here. Like, not only does this have to be a good play, also it has to be standard, serviceable to the Disney Plus audience. So that's another thing. Also, it would be so amazing. I just realized this now. Wouldn't it be so amazing if they actually performed Frozen the musical, or at least they do like the documentary. They release it after season 3 is over. That would be the greatest tie-in, one of the greatest tie-ins of all time. If they don't do it, I'm like, that's a damn missed opportunity. But if they do, I'll praise you, Disney. I'll praise you even more. Rehearsals are getting on their way. Just fun facts to mention before I continue on with the actual rehearsals. Gina apparently has a TikTok as well. She has some fans that are also at the camp, and they're about to audition for the first time as well. And Gina gives some very hopeful advice. Also, yeah, I forgot to mention, when we were back at the girls' cabin, Ashley and Courtney made a comment like Gina's attitude for this play go around is kind of familiar to Gina 1.0 back in season 1, where she was a little bit more like determined to the goal. And I'm like, no, that's definitely not Gina in that now. She's kind of like a in-between hybrid where, like, she has the motivation of the Gina we first met back in season 1, but she has the kinship, the heart, the soul that season 2's Gina mostly embodied. So she's kind of trying to be the best that she can be right now. Like, she wants to pursue her dreams and her goals, as well as to maintain like the true friendships, the relationships she manages to cultivate in the past 6 months to 8 to 9 months. So she ain't gonna lose track of that. And then we get some weird, not weird, but like the song that they made for this episode. I think it's called "Believe" or something along the lines. Yeah, it's, for me, I couldn't get to the groove of it. I really couldn't. Like, I love music. I love musicals, obviously, of course, since I've been reviewing this show for a while, but it wasn't my cup of tea. It really wasn't. And ironically, that reminds me, I got some tea. But besides that, the song was okay. I didn't really get to the groove of it, to be honest with you. So we get to the auditions itself. They're doing the 2 songs from Frozen. One of them includes "Do You Want to Build a Snowman?" and then another song. Again, I have not seen Frozen, so I apologize if I really don't know anything. And the auditions and stuff, I think, compared to to rank them like between season 1, season 2, season 3's auditions, I think season 1 was more memorable because you had like Ricky coming in last minute and kind of like making that big scene, and also giving like the crowd like to Nini to give her like the moment, like, this is Nini's show. This is her moment. Season 2 was more like, yeah, Nini's not here anymore. We're trying to, like, all do our best, and Ricky's just trying to half-ass it a little bit. But it was also that group mentality, like they were doing this together. And now season 3, it's just, it's still good. Like the energy's still there. It's still like they got that same level of hype, but it feels a little bit different. As well as Ricky somehow knows the song and does it very well. And I'm like, oh God, they're going to give Ricky the lead again. This is so cliche. This is so typical. Like, why? I love Ricky, but I'm like, don't give it. Like, it's just too generic. Like, okay, we get it. He's supposed to be like Troy, but he's not Troy. EJ's supposed to be Troy this season, but you know what? Fine. It is what it is. Everyone performs. And I also forgot to mention, EJ's friend, the other CIT, decided that, well, if you're going to be a director and there's a good chance that some of your high school friends are going to be part of this play, like, it's going to be too biased for you to select the roles if you're going to give them all leading parts. So let me do the casting and you'll do the directing down the road. So they do so. Everyone almost auditions. So the first rounds are over. They're kind of getting into some like mini rehearsals with some overacting, let's call it that. The tech kid from, not the tech kid, the kid from last episode that kind of stood on his own, didn't really associate himself much with everyone else, gets approached by counselor Jason Earls. I don't remember his name. I apologize. I'm gonna call him Jason Earls for the rest of this review series. I really don't care anymore. Like, he is Jason Earls in my heart. I don't remember his other characters' names. I'm sure I'm not gonna remember this one. So he's Jason Earls to me. Sorry. The kid gets approached by Jason Earls. They're like, yeah, you haven't signed in for an elective this entire camp period, so you either got to go to swimming or you got to go to the musical. And he's like, fine, I'll do the musical. He gets there late, but EJ, having a kid heart, like, allows him to audition. And he does really, really well, blowing everyone away. But however, once he starts to get that praise and that energy, a positive energy coming through him, he leaves. So indicating that he has some sort of past issues with that, so we'll probably get to see more about that later. And then from that point, I want to say so auditions are over, and obviously Carlos is trying to get to be the CIT's new like teacher's pet this season, like he was with Miss Chen the last 2 seasons. Like, I need to know who's going to be in the play. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna sleep on this. I'm gonna sleep on this. It's a big decision. Like, it's going to be on Disney Plus. I'm sorry if I keep mentioning it. EJ and Gina talk out a little bit about, they low-key, like, yeah, EJ is noticing, like, yeah, that, Ricky and Gina being back in the same area together, that might create some confusion. EJ and his close friendship with the CIT, but definitely they're both level-minded, like, we're still good. This is still going to be the summer that we've been wanting to be with together, and we're gonna make it work. Like, this is the one thing I am not stressed over, besides every other thing that I got to do this summer. But they're gonna make it work, which again, totally respectable. I've seen High School Musical 2 many, many times. I know how the story ends, so we'll find out in a few weeks. And yeah, so we come back over to Cali, where Nini meets her birth father once again, as the context of her knowing that she's her biological father. It's Jesse Tyler Ferguson, I believe that's the actor's name. He was in Modern Family. I reviewed that earlier this year. What a great show. What a great sitcom. What a great character he played. I forgot what his character's name was. I even forgot what the name of his character is. I'm going to call him Father Mitch. Is it Mitch? No, it's Cam's the other guy. I mean, he's Mitch. It sounds weird. Like, I always thought the other guy was Mitch. Anywho, so they're having that awkward, like, you're my daughter, and also she's like, you're my dad. Like, what do we actually have in common? And at first, it doesn't really seem like they have much in common. And then the moms come in and realize and tell her that, oh no, we used to be part of a musical group back in college. And Nina's like, wow, now there's the real connection. And they talk all for the night, and they really get to bond a little bit, and it's actually pretty nice. This is definitely like some motivation that Nini needed to like kind of start writing songs again. And even he said, like, you're starting your life, don't worry if you don't know where exactly you're going to go, because you're eventually going to find it, and don't worry about it. The best is yet to come, which is like, that's an amazing line right there. That's an amazing line. Nini gets the inspiration to write a brand new song, which I think, yeah, that was like the game changer. Like, it's funny how Ricky's actor Joshua like performed last week. Great song. Nini's actress Olivia performed this week. Great song. It's like, Jesus Christ, like, these two are like phenomenal. But obviously Olivia's getting the most attention out of everyone. So so we cut back over to the camp. any like straggler information I missed during the actual main recap. Courtney was trying to make friends with the tech girl, but she's like distancing herself from her, mainly because like when she was in camp, like more like when she was younger, she had a core group of friends that she was with every summer, and then they all moved on, leaving her behind. So she's kind of like trying not to associate herself with new people, like just trying to be a loner. But it's kind of hard for her to do because like she has the energy to be a friend to someone, but she's not really comfortable yet. She's not really comfortable at all. I know EJ and Ricky are kind of like just that weird, like, are we really friends? Like, it's so weird, their relationship, their dynamic, because like in the 3 scenes, like they were rival, then they were like frenemies, and then they're like, are they friends? It's like, it's so confusing. They're now living with each other in the same bunk, and we really haven't gotten a good moment with them. Like, hell, even before the audition scene, EJ was like really uncomfortable around Ricky. It's like you have it's like that one friend in the friend group that but you don't really consider them a friend. It's just by the association. That's kind of the vibe I get. I'm pretty sure they respect each other, but it's something that if they were willing to choose it, I don't think they would have chosen it at all. Also, I forgot. The CIT made a comment about Nene, like, where's Nene? Like, she can help you out with this. And Rick and EJ's like, it's been a very long year. And it's like, oh yeah, it has been a very long year, hasn't it? I believe the episode ends with Gina, Courtney, and Ashley make a comment about the tech girl, about like, that she's a bit different, that she's like a little bit too stuck on the old ritual that she used to do, and she's doing some weird candy ritual in the woods for some reason. I don't know what the heck that is. Carlos has been enough in terms of his impatientness, and breaks into like one of the CIT's offices. He finds the cast list and he's really not happy with it. He starts scribbling out the names and starts to like redo them, which I'm like, bro, I don't think that's how it's gonna work, because even if you change the names, like the director knows, like, yeah, these aren't the names I posted, so I'm gonna change it back. So this is literally a lost cause for Carlos, but whatever. We'll let him do his thing, because guess what? That was the end of this week's episode of High School Musical, the musical, the series. So again, I don't think this was as high as last week. It was off by a little bit, but honestly, it was still an enjoyable ride. We're into the story now. No Corbin Blue this week. That's a bit of unfortunate, but I'm pretty sure we'll be around next week. We'll see. But honestly, the plot is developing very well. We're getting the characters kind of set up back into like the throes of like, we're getting to do another musical again, and EJ's being worried about director. Obviously it's still like, we still don't know if EJ really knows what he's gonna do now that he's graduated from East High. Heck, I don't even think they confirm he graduated from East High. Like, we didn't get a graduation scene or anything, but, what is he going to do next? Like, what is the next big thing the next best thing for him? So this could be a great step for him as a character. Him and Gina's relationship kind of be tested throughout about, like, is there an infinite bud? And also there was, like, this scene where Ricky was performing, and we got a very distinguished camera shot to him not facing Gina, but, like, Gina in the picture, which I'm like, do we really need a love triangle again? Can we not, like, please? I'm done with love triangles, man. Come on. It's so cliche. It's so corny. I'm done with it. Please, let's move on from it. But we'll see how it goes. And as for Nini's storyline, it's still interesting that, this is the way they're doing things. Like isolating her again from the rest of the cast so that she can kind of focus on her own story and focus on what is next for her. And what is very interesting for me is that I heard in an interview that, like, yeah, this season's story arc for Nini is meant to be a send-off to her. So I think if Olivia decides to, like, fully leave or not, she gets to go. So it's like, maybe she'll come back in later on for a guest star appearance, but, like, this would be meant to be her final story arc. Which I'm like, I don't know how that looks like. I really don't know. And, I'm hopeful to God they give her one scene with the rest of the cast. Because if it's just like a phone call, like saying like, hey, I'm not going to come back to East High. I'm going to be doing my own thing in Cali. Like, I'm sorry. It would be a little half-assed. Again, we still have 6 weeks to go, so I could be completely wrong on that. But, we'll see how everything goes from there. But, it's just, I really hope they don't take that approach. That's what I hope. But we'll see. We'll see how things go in the next, few weeks. There's still much more story to tell with this season, so I could be speculating wrongly. But overall, for me, I think this was a really good episode at the end of the day. And I can't wait to see what rest they have in store for us. So I'm going to give this episode 1.5 thumbs up. So I enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below, what did you think of this week's episode of High School Musical, the musical, the series? Let's start that conversation down below. And I believe that's going to do it for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's the Two from ActionX, reviewing every episode in the 3rd season of High School Musical, the series. If you want to know what we're doing normally on What's the Two besides our HSMTMTS reviews, well, currently, yeah, we're finishing up our Tom Swift reviews that come out each and every week at their brand episodes on the CW. So go check them out there. If you only care about High School Musical, you're in luck. We'll be back next week with another episode review. So I'll see you all next week. But again, this has been What's the Two. Please subscribe to us on youtube.com/ActionX videos. Ring that bell for notification for our next episode reviews live. Please also follow us on social media to stay up to date with any sort of updates we may have for the channel. And please also like, favorite, share this review if you want to. But for all you members of all the Wildcats out there, I'll see y'all next week for the next episode review. But until then, stay safe out there. Be good to each other. And as always, peace out. Do you want to build a snowman?